If you're starting the search for a roofing company in Sanford, you should know some of the companies that you could work with in your area. By the end of this video, you'll know 5 of the best roofing companies serving Sanford and some facts and information about each of them. Though they only have a Facebook page for a website, don't let that dissuade you, as Central Piedmont Roofing has over 50 5-star Google reviews that give glowing remarks about the company's responsiveness and the quality of their work. This veteran-owned and operated company specializes in metal roofing, but also provides asphalt shingle roof replacements and flat roofing services to the Sanford area. For Window King of Sanford, you'll have to get past the name, but no need to worry, as the company has plenty of roofing experience in the area, serving Fayetteville, Lillington, Pinehurst, and Sanford. The company has been running since 1997, so their 25 plus years of experience should help you know that they will get the job done as one of the longest standing companies in Sanford. For just about 20 years now, Skywalker Roofing has been growing and developing their business all across North Carolina. They have main locations in Winston-Salem, Greensboro, Charlotte, and Raleigh, allowing them to service most of the state. With over 500 reviews across the different locations, the company maintains high 4-star ratings across the board, which is a great indicator that those who work with Skywalker tend to be pretty happy after the work is done. Behold Roofing is one of the younger companies on this list, but the owner-operator has been in the roofing industry for over a decade and stays heavily involved in the day-to-day operations. The company is a small team, but they are dedicated to their craft and are entirely local, priding themselves on being clean, on time, and polite. Another company that was formed a few years ago to serve the Sanford area, Koala Roofing was created by an Australian roofer who had been in the industry for some time before recently relocating to the United States. Now the company offers roof replacements and repairs alongside siding and solar roofing services for Sanford and the rest of central North Carolina. Now that you've learned about the best roofing companies that serve Sanford, I hope you're starting to feel more confident taking the next steps in your roofing process. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.